Hello, beautiful soul family. Welcome to your June Oracle transmission. Um, it's a very expansive energy this month, and I'm really excited to delve into this. Take a little moment of appreciation for arriving here. We're halfway through the year. I know it's hard to believe, but the first 6 months of this year, as I really tune into this check-in of a message, is that this first 6 months have been a culmination of planting a lot of seeds that will open up as doorways to various different quantum timelines. So you may feel like perhaps the year hasn't progressed as you might expect, or that you've even tuned into in the beginning of the year that it would unfold in a certain way. But maybe it doesn't look exactly like how you think it should look. But the truth is that this first 6 months have planted various little seeds. A lot of releasing has occurred as well, and new portals are opening up. But because that they are kind of doorways to these very vastly different timelines, also on multidimensional levels of your soul. These are multidimensional facets of yourself that is really worlds apart, that is culminating in this point. And so the sequence of events, just like if you're having a dream and you have a certain dream that is purging some energies or activating certain aspects in your consciousness, sometimes it literally makes no sense to the linear mind. Like some series of events happen in your dream that doesn't really put together very rationally in the dream space. A lot of symbols, like a lot of different scenery and interactions that you'll face in the dream. And it's similar to that. Like your first 6 months have been kind of like equivalent to when you're having a dream, calibrating certain energies or activating certain energies. It makes literally no sense. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go ahead and read for June, but I'm also actually going to open this space up to do a little energy check on the entire year or for the rest of your year 2024, if any energies want to step through. And I just have a quick announcement. I am running a 2-hour live workshop with my friend JJ. And this is going to be around prosperity. And as I'm saying this, I can't believe I'm saying this because for various reasons, I'll explain more in another video perhaps, but it's really not like any of the freaking abundance workshops or courses or masterminds that you would encounter in other teachings. It's really unique. And for those who enrolled in my manifestation program will understand that it's a completely different paradigm that I'm channeling. Even when it comes to this prosperity. And it is funny to me that for 3 years I've been running high level frequencies around non-duality, and then this year I'm being kind of pushed from the universe to teach about very practical things that are super cliche in the new age community. And it is like cringy when I think about it because it's so out there in the community, but that's also, I believe, the reason why I'm being initiated to teach around these things, to bring holistic patterns or higher level patterns around this. And essentially in this workshop that is 2 hours, I'm going to be sharing with you some frequencies, information, calibrations that is going to completely rewire the comprehension of money and prosperity, the energy of abundance. But more than just abundance, prosperity is almost like this open field. It is more feminine in a way, in the way that it expresses that code. And also JJ, if you guys don't know who she is, she's incredible, incredible. We are very connected. And when she saw these curriculums that I've channeled, she was like, holy, this is so powerful. This needs to get out there. And so she really wanted to make this as a co-creation so that it could reach as many people as possible. So I'm gonna link that below. And it's on June 22nd, but if you cannot make it, obviously you'll get a playback. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And I really look forward to seeing you there. It's gonna be super epic. And I am really ready to speak about these types of topics because I believe that I have a very unique way of perceiving these systems. And I am also super tired of all of these new age people teaching this and that and literally reiterating the same things over and over again. Like somebody hears it from somebody, somebody learns it from somebody, and they all kind of repeat the same thing over and over and over again. And a lot of these teachings have like these pitfalls, right? So believe me, I get it if you're like, oh, just another one of those things, but it's not one of those things. It's completely new information. It's newly channeled. It's fresh perspectives. And it's really dealing around, really the core of this is looking at money as a form of grid work. And I'm going to make a YouTube video about this, but Patreon, obviously you guys have first access and first kind of fresh infusion of how to make sense of all of these energies. So grid work is a term that is utilized and tossed around by a lot of people, but it's not just with land, it's with other systems that are collective, and money is one of those collective systems that are highly, highly, highly distorted, and the light workers and starseeds are here to really recalibrate that through their own system and through their frequency. So that's really what it is, and it's also going to touch on a lot of different comprehension around how you can actually cultivate this energy and streamline it on a higher level and increase your prosperity, increase your abundance by coming into cohesion with the truth of what it is, rather than all these different things that are floating around in the internet and through these different coaches and healers. Okay, no shade, no shade, no shade, no shade. Okay, with that being said, let's go into your oracle reading. I need to just grab a couple of decks that I don't have here with me right now. Okay, so let's get to it. I have this really cool little Incan tarot deck that I picked up from the Sacred Valley, and it's really cool. The quality of the cardstock is lacking, but the cards themselves are very powerful. Okay, so taking a full deep breath, just coming into your heart space, tuning into your high heart, grounding your energy to the planetary core, and connecting with your sovereign source level of being, and inviting in guidance of the highest frequencies. I'm inviting in our higher selves, the code of the higher self, inviting in the oversoul of each and every single soul that is present here, inviting in the galactic teams, galactic guides of the purest frequencies, angelic guides of the purest frequencies, ascended facets of our consciousness. Okay, let's get into the reading. So I'm asking about this time in June, messages for now as we approach this expansive month. What is occurring and what advice they automatically signal to physical alignment. So whether that is working with your posture to straighten out your posture, just kind of like always having this habit of straightening out your posture, working out different movements. They're asking me to tell you to move intuitively throughout the day. When people think about alignment and yoga and movement, they think that they have to put in like 30 minutes or an hour at a time at least. But honestly, throughout the day, just like how you would go and drink multiple times water, right? Just like that, multiple times throughout the day, even just a few intuitive stretches, even less than a minute, they're asking you to even just, rolling out your wrists or just like calibrating through your hands or just with your hips or your shoulders, like just rolling out with your head or your feet, your ankles, like calibrating through the movement, because you're getting more and more like invasive downloads from your multidimensional soul. When they say invasive, it's not supposed to be a negative term. It means just like intervention, like divine intervention, aspects of your soul fusing in. And so this is occurring more and more rapidly, more and more often. Whereas before, you used to have like these big events where you just integrate like this huge thing, like this huge Kundalini awakening, this huge burst of energy, this huge burst of like soul infusion, or a walk-in, getting a galactic walk-in. But you're now coming to really like integrate smaller bits and pieces more often. And this is actually going to be so much more efficient. But which means that you need more calibration throughout the day, like with your body, with your throat portal, speaking light language. So Kiara, whether you think you could speak light language or not, literally just tone and hum if you can't. Like just start with humming, or just repetitively calibrating, like do 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 shuku 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 iropa kirara kanara kana anakaraya. So no 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 no. Could be like the same sound over and over. Ashikore 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 na 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 do 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 do. Just do your thing. Eventually you'll open up more to light language, and I feel like I have so many things that I would love to share and teach, but if this is one of the things that you really love to learn from me, please leave a comment below, because I have so many ideas, or like so many different insights, or like push from the universe to teach different things, and I'm just like, I don't fucking have the time for all of that. I mean, I'm not trying to perpetuate a belief system, but I just, one thing at a time, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's definitely one of the things that I would love to help people activate. It's very healing. It's very healing way of life. Light language isn't something that you just use for your clients or just like in certain situations. It's like it literally is a way of life. It's a way of recalibrating, just like how movement is a way of life. Exercising is a way of life. Meditation, yoga is a way of life. Nice. We have, ooh, well, it's a really purgy time for you right now. It is a really purgy time for you right now. We have the Nine of Pentacles on the bottom. It's definitely speaking about prosperity. It's definitely speaking about, having more than enough than you desire. And almost in this trusting of, you don't look at your bank account, like you don't look at your bank account as if it's like a fixed number, but you understand the flow behind the number. You understand that it's not just a metric, but it is a multidimensional expression of energy with Ace of Cups. So whatever you're currently going through, right? And I see July is a big month for a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of movement. There's going to be a lot of movement, and there's going to be a lot of lessons that you learn, a lot of healing. There's going to be heart healing, high heart chakra really activating. And we have a lot of self-love that is activating. You're going to learn self-love, and there's going to be different occurrences, or maybe relationships, or different events that occur that would have previously really put a damper on your self-love, and you're finally coming into this space where you get to observe that the root of a lot of suffering in different events or relationships is genuine self-love, and you're able to actually perceive that and recalibrate that. I hear even some people who get quite jealous over other people, like how other people are living, how other people are doing, how other people are looking. If you catch moments of that jealousy, and then prior to this huge influx of energy that is occurring, I sense Lemurian energy that is infusing through this portal, solstice and also in July, there's a huge influx of Lemurian energy, Sirian energy, Palladian energy for some people, especially for females who are watching this. They're activating a lot of the mermaid facets. Even if you're a guy, that's very possible. Even if you are in the spectrum of male and female, that's also happening for you. And part of what you really activate through this mermaid frequencies, like these mermaid consciousness, and perhaps I'll definitely make some sort of an activation around the mermaid consciousness, is that you genuinely love yourself to death. Like, okay, to life. You know what I mean? Like, you just, the way of being for mermaids, they're deeply in love with themselves, and that's why they are so beautiful. And a lot of this mermaid frequency is around being able to express oneself through the eye of the beholder, what is the most beautiful. It's like they almost shapeshift to that, and there's this magnetism around it. So you have this huge magnetism that is activating. You know, when you look at somebody and you can't tell really what it is about them, but something is so magnetic, you just can't, you're almost like hypnotized by their appearance, but it's never really necessarily the appearance. But it's this magnetism, this vibe, that is what you are coming into. Let's see, we have this is the star card. It's amazing. This is like a deep, 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 deep healing around your self-love and your self-worth, and feeling deserving of the life that you are calling in, essentially. Okay, so let's see. We have the Hermit card. So this is exactly the energy that you are currently moving through. Is that I don't necessarily see this, like perhaps and perhaps not, but you're really coming into this complete cycle of deep, deep introversion, deep, deep introspection, and deep, deep internal, like, I feel like this cleaning, like spring cleaning of your internal levels, of your internal infrastructure, the internal conversations, the internal feelings. And right now you'll be facing some kind of serious overhaul. Is it called an overhaul? Is it called a genuinely total spewing out of any codependent dynamics that you've ever had. So when it comes to this self-love or this self-worth or even this prosperity, and I feel like there was a message like this in the last reading that I did for you last month, was around getting out of your system all of the external things that you used to attach to a genuine place of, for example, self-love and abundance, or love or friendship. Any external attachments that you have been outsourcing, this being the source of your internal reality, has been plucking apart, and you're in the deep midst of this huge purge. Addictions, and addictions don't have to be so physical, energetic addictions even, and addictions can even be escapism. Maybe you're the type of person who is constantly thinking about another reality, another timeline, which is fine as long as you're having that in context with what is here for you right now. But for those who have just been, you know, even just astral traveling too much, or focus too much on the future without being completely embodied in the present, you know, it's a very different vibe to be doing that from a place of escapism versus genuine exploration. Even meditation can be used in a very addictive way, like without really feeling into the truth and authenticity of what is relevant for you at the moment. But if somebody keeps tending to wanting to sit and have a meditation session in order to feel a certain way, or in order to feel productive in another way, all of these false attachments are falling apart to build the true authentic frequency of it. There's a death card. There's all these major arcana is coming up for what you're currently moving through. And so there's a siren. I hope that the Zoom doesn't pick it up. So if your life currently looks like it's being torn apart, if your life currently looks like it's being torn into pieces and you're in the midst of great chaos, you're on the right track right now. I know that's not what you maybe want to hear, or that maybe it's exactly what you need to hear, but you are exactly on track. It's because you're being pulled apart from things that were false, things that you were attached to almost like depend on certain levels, and you don't have to judge yourself for that still having been in your life until this point, because for most of you were on this spiritual journey for a really long time, and you've probably gone through these cycles many times. But this current phase that is moving through is like a purification on another level that you have never reached before. So even if you've had many ego deaths, even if you've had many of the instances where you let go of things, people, situation, belief systems, addictions, all of that is being uprooted, like really cleansed, as you approach this new phase where you are actually welcoming in a new era. We have the moon, unconscious. We have the Nine of Swords and the Ten of Swords. So for a lot of you, you're having a lot of anxiety as you move through this. And even if you don't know really what anxiety feels like, there's some people who are so anxious. There's some people who face so much anxiety that they wouldn't even think that they have anything like that. It's interesting because a lot of people who say like, oh, I have anxiety. Yeah, sometimes they have less anxiety than people who don't even know that they have anxiety. The people who have genuine, serious anxiety, sometimes they don't even realize that's not a normal state to be in. Like constant worries, constant fear, even this sense of terror. Terror is a frequency that is interesting because it's like fear that doesn't really have a basis. It's an emotion that is feeling fear for literally no reason. Like you can't really pinpoint why there is this fear. And so that is also purging a lot. And you're gonna uncover a way of being that is so peaceful. Like at first, this looks like everything's just spilling out. Imagine you have this entire closet and then you are doing this spring cleaning. So all of the clothes are coming off and it looks like a freaking disaster. And you're sifting through everything. And so right now is a freaking mess and a half. That's how I see the energies playing out right now. Your life right now is a freaking mess and a half, and it looks messy. It looks disturbing. It looks like almost like you're taking steps backwards. Like, why have you put in so much work, but it looks like things are progressing backwards? Because you're doing an overhaul. We have the this is Six of Wands. Yeah. Victory, success. We have the Ace of Swords. And then we have the Five of Cups. I want to clarify the Five of Cups. They're asking for you to slow down, but not in a way like slowing down is going to slow your time down. Your mental pace is running super fast. And if you just tone that down, it doesn't mean that things are going to become slower. Like your actions will still be at the same pace, but it's just your thoughts are really super fast these days. And I feel like that's part of really purging your mental landscape. And for you, it's not even imaginable for you not to think this much. And I think that you definitely have the capacity to center yourself and tune into that pristine clarity, so that the levels of the mental field that truly genuinely matter the most is the fraction of what you think is required to thrive in this world. Like, you think that you have to continue to think a lot in order to maintain the level of performance that you have lived so far. But your life, it's not like your life is the way it is because of your over planning, over strategizing, and thinking intelligent things, but it's that your life was able to succeed despite those thoughts. It's not because of the thoughts that you're at this level, it's despite the thoughts. And we don't want to bypass the importance of thoughts, but it just looks like you can really tone it down a lot, and kind of experiment and play around with how much of the thinking that you're used to thinking is actually required to thrive on the most optimal level. Because right now on the spectrum, you're thinking a lot more than is optimal. And once you find that balance, and it requires a lot of spiritual maturity to notice when you're even thinking, because most people, there's the funniest story that Sam Harris shares about this one lady who literally thought that she transcended her thoughts, but all the time she's thinking. So most people don't even realize when they're thinking, right? They have no idea. They think it's just like how I said, just they think it's just part of life. They think it's just natural landscape of life to think that much. And I want to try to pinpoint where you start to feel like that. They're giving me the analogy of this story where there's the rabbit and the turtle racing together, and the rabbit just goes as fast as the rabbit can, and then the turtle is going slowly and consistently at its pace, and then the turtle ends up winning the race. For some reason, they're bringing that story up, and it's really around the amount, the quality, and the speed of your thoughts. If you think about the rabbit, that's like what you think is going to win the race, but it's not about the speed or the quantity of your thoughts, but it's about the consistency in the right thoughts. Does that make sense? So it's like, your mental powers have a purpose, and they have benefit to running the way that it does, but you're now being acquainted to a new way of exploring the mental realm in a way that, I want to give you a perfect example. It's like people think when they're visualizing, right? When you're visualizing, it's not just about imagination, but you're actually really interacting with various different timelines. People think you have to do it for like 30 minutes, even 10 minutes visualizing. But the most powerful, it's like a potent, sorry, it's like a potent 10 seconds, 7 to 10 seconds of visualization is more powerful than like 10 minutes continually. It's really not about how much and how fast, or the length of time, if that makes sense. Okay, so we have the Three of Pentacles. It shows me that you're going to be collaborating with some people, collaborating on a project or collaborating on frequencies. Just like you're going to come into contact with a group of people, or just a couple of people, that you're going to take a new approach to doing things. Maybe you're going to be working with some people that are really aligned with your path, and they're going to teach you various different things about life that is going to really benefit you moving forward. So there's going to be some lessons that you're going to be learning from people that are newly getting acquainted with your life, with your field, with your reality. And it's going to give you a very deep healing around teamwork. It's going to give you a very deep healing around even sibling rivalry. Some of you are going to go through a sibling healing, because a lot of times when it comes to like co-creation or even friends, those distortions, if you ever had siblings, can stem a lot from your dynamics with your siblings. So there's a healing around that you're gonna receive this month. Then final card we have here is Empress. So this is definitely the card of abundance and the card of fulfillment and receiving and grace and having things just kind of flow to you, flow through you. You might have to just put in a little bit of effort, but as it is directed towards the right things, right alignment, the results are so fertile. And so, is there any other messages? Okay, we're gonna go into Oracle cards. I have no idea how long this video has been running. Oh, I think it's been quite a while. Okay, we have the Gaia, resilient spirit, earth connection, stay rooted in trust and faith. They're showing me your connection with the inner earth is expanding. You're gonna be perhaps like receiving new guides from the inner earth. Shoo, rekai. Inner earth planes and various different multidimensional beings from the inner earth are coming online in your field. A lot of Agartha energy, Shambhala, higher frequencies of Shambhala. A lot of you Andromedan and getting connected with the plant spirits. We have like the tree of life, and actual tree spirits, connecting with tree spirits and oceanic spirits. It's like all of these nature energies, connections, nature frequencies that are very profound. We have green Tara, healing light, wellness unfolding. I'm gonna pull one more card. Okay, it's gonna be Shiva. Karma release, the end of a cycle, debts are paid, choose your destiny. You remember when I talked to you about this entire cycle coming to a close? That's literally, you've paid your karmic debts. You've paid your karmic debts. Listen, you paid not just your karmic debts, but this is ancestral and this is family. You've interrupted the ever unfolding karma looping through your genetic lineage. You have recently faced it. So what I see you is like you kind of disconnected from your ancestral lineage for literally like for some people few months or for some people few years, that you've like really taken a step away, almost like bypassing your family patterns, bypassing your family dynamic, bypassing your ancestral patterns to really work on like this other aspect of you that is coming online, this galactic aspect, this soul aspects, super even detached from this earthly realms that you've been really cultivating focus on. And now you're kind of like coming back together. And I feel that you've had to look at what you left behind, that you've bypassed for a phase of time for a good reason, because it was important that you really calibrate to these new frequencies. But I see you coming back, grounding back, and you've recently gone through, and I feel like you may still be going through this now as we're speaking, up until July-ish, that you're gonna work through these frequencies of the karmic patterns that have been traveling through your genetic cycle. And because you've worked on this other aspect that is coming online, like literally like a soul walk-in, essentially, that I was talking about before, that it doesn't have to be like just one event, but you're going to perpetually be receiving like these soul facets of yourself. And you've paid your karmic debt. You've faced those challenges and you've worked through them. You're still working through them, but it is already complete. The end is near to this cycle of transmuting your karmic debts. And it's been a very healing journey. For some people, coming into a sacred divine union and connection, a sort of a twin flame energy, which I don't want to perpetuate the distortions around that. But whenever you do meet this person, don't have any expectations. It could always be you know, a million myriad of different ways that a connection can express itself. Just because you meet somebody that is holding this divine union dynamic doesn't mean that they owe you the rest of their life, or they owe you to be exactly who you think they should be, or like fill up a gap that you are looking for externally. Just know that you're coming into a very significant union and connection that is coming up. I see this playing out in the rest of the 6 months. Like sometime you're going to meet someone that is going to exactly be the catalyst that you could utilize today, now. When I say today, now, I mean like just at this cycle of time. And how that relationship unfolds is none of your business. You got to go through it and see how it flows. But the important aspect is that it's here to teach you a lesson, shaping you into a better person, and a better in divine service. And this is going to be a very powerful union. But again, just don't attach, that's one of the biggest pitfalls of dealing with these very sacred divine union connections, is like people expect it to go a certain way, or they just kind of project this idealism into it. But it's not like that. I'm sure we have last card here is miraculous encounter. Divine experiences. Do not be afraid of being powerful. You're coming into terms with your power. For a lot of you, actually, you're really activating your womb space. For men too, their sacral space, or like the power of your sexuality that you have been kind of suppressing all this time. And be open and curious to how this sensual energy plays out. For some people, it's literally frightening how powerful this can be when you harness this life force energy and really train yourself to work with this. There's definitely something else that I want to teach. There's so many things I wish I could, I will, just in due time. One thing at a time, one thing at a time. Your body is becoming prepared to really amplify the amount of life force energy that is running through you. For some people, like your appearance is going to upgrade to carry more of this sexual energy. Like you're gonna really look sexually attractive, even if you weren't like dressed in a certain way. It's just this we spoke about this in the beginning, the magnetism, the charisma, like this vibe, like this sensuality, this life force energy that's pulsing through you. Just people, even if they're just muggles, they could just sense this, something is just emanating out of you, this life force energy. And that's what I see. So actually, you're gonna change a lot of your eating patterns. You're gonna change a lot of things that you like to do, how you spend your day, how you take care of yourself. Like a lot of physical things are gonna change to accommodate this shift. Some people are gonna have really deep physical purging and clearing in a certain way. This could be gradual, or it could be condensed into an event. For example, if you choose to do like Zen cleanse or plant medicine, anything like that, or you do like a fast, which some people take it too far. Please don't take it too far. And if you're the type of person that's always fasting, maybe that's not the one for you. Depends. Some sort of a very deep physical recalibration, and maybe it doesn't even have a specific reason why it's happening, but it just happens naturally, and you just kind of have a purge, or you get sick. When sometimes people get sick, it's not really about getting sick, but it was a physical recalibration, and your body's just telling you to rest, so on and so forth. If you are called to work with different plants, if you're called to work with different holistic modalities, this is a sign that it's aligned. I'm just adding another layer of synchronicity. Some people can really benefit from combo, but please do your research only if it calls you deep inside. So that's that. What else? Okay, Jesus came out. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but Jesus is here. If for some reason some of you are going, there's a violet flame. If for some reason, yeah, y'all purging so hard. so hard. Everybody's purging, like dying of purging. So, not dying, but you know what I mean? Yeah, literally people are out here dying. Like some people, I think some of you really feel like you're literally dying. Like it feels like you're dying. Don't worry about it. This is a natural process. You're gonna be fine. For some of you who are moving through like dark energy attacks or like other people's evil eye or just negative energies that you're feeling, intrusions, entities, I am being called to remind you that like Jesus, out of all the beloved ascended consciousness archetypes out there, when it comes to purifying distortions, Jesus is the man. Call on Jesus. It's a very effective frequency to clean up everything, like transmuting, alchemizing distortions or demonic energies, entities, all of that. It is very profoundly healing. And this comes through your high heart. So just tuning into your high heart, I'm gonna end off this oracle reading just with a quick activation of your high heart, tuning into your high heart through your heart and receiving this pink pastel aurora frequencies through your high heart, as it is safe to open your high heart. And as you open your high heart, and you'll be receiving this throughout the next cycles to come, in the next about 4 weeks or so, you're going to receive a very deep high heart upgrade. And this is actually going to open up both your throat portal, and it's really going to amplify your sacral portal. So your sensual energy is going to increase drastically. This is going to magnetize more frequencies to you. And you're going to feel this burst of sensual energy increase. But it is very much suggested that you don't look at it like it's sexual energy, the way that humans think it is. But become very curious, what is this new life force energy that is rising through me? And I feel like a lot of people even suppress this energy because it feels to them like it's like sexual, but it's not just sexual. That's one of the ways that it chooses to express itself, but it's so much more. You're receiving life force energy quotient upgrade right now through your high heart. Aramokorea saishu ne kiarai sorea kiarana soren kiarai sukirai soe ashkunamokaraya sakoera moea kia yaramo sokiarai na sorea shu kiaraya soe ashura morea kiaraya soe ashukiara marai sai. Tapping gently on your chest, taking a full deep breath in and out. Okay, now feeling into your hips and grounding your energy, connecting with your sovereign source level of being. Inviting your divine light to blast through your field. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing this sacred space with me. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful cycle. If you have any comments, let me know below because I read everything there, and I'll see you guys in the next activation. Sending lots of love, and if you're attending the workshop, I really look forward to it. It's going to be freaking awesome, and I'll see you in the workshop then. Bye!